When we will start the class problem. So today we are going to be discuss the last class we start to firewall. What are the types of firewalls we discussed? Have you remember the types of firewalls? So here itself we will see that one. So there is four types. Mainly we are going to be talking about three only. So this is the types of firewalls: packet filtering routers, application layer gateways, and the circuit level gateways. So how in the level of where we are going to be protect. So where we can have an attack, where we need to provide the security. So either the packet filtering time, the router we need to protect, and the application layer gateway we have to protect. So we know what is application layer and where we are going to be creating a data. So in the circuit level, low level, how we are going to be maintained. So these are the main three firewalls we saw types of. Today we are going to be see about how we are going to be do the configuration. So in addition to the use of simple configuration of a single system, single packet filtering router or a single gateway, more complex configurations are possible. So there is the three common configurations are there. The first one is about screened host firewall, screened host firewall system, single home Boston host. So we have internet and we are providing some. One of the type of the packet filtering we are using here. That is the packet filter we are going to be using. Then we have some hosts are there and some servers we are going to be used. In that, what are the private networks we are going to be using. So this is a screened host firewall systems. So what is the use of this one? Why we want to do like this means? It is a screened home firewall, so a single home Boston configuration. So one server or one system itself, we have provide uh, how to secure the system. So the firewall consists of two systems. So that is in and around we can call. So that is the packet filter router and the Boston host we are going to be used for these two systems. So how we are going to be do the packet filtering. So configuration for packet filtering router, only the packets from one from and to the Boston hosts are allowed to pass through the router. So only these packets are allowed to which type of packets. So the packet filtering is allowing. So Boston Host is going to be provide the security. So there, which type of packets are going to be allowed to the router. So we know the router is sending and receiving through the port number. No? So through the port number we are going to be, so the how the router is going to be pass the packets. So not to check all this. The Boston host performs the authentication and the proxy functions. So authentication is whether it is coming from exact router or not, the exact user or not, whether the user is authenticated or not, authenticated user or not, any middle man in the middle attacks happen or not. So if anything wrongly happened, then definitely it is going to be stopped and avoid the packets to entering into the networks. That is many single network systems we have. So greater security than a single configuration because of two reasons. So single configurations are these configuration implements both the packet level and application level filtering, allowing for flexibility in defining the security policy. So this configuration implements both packet level and application level also. So we have four types, no? So that is a packet level, configuration level, application level, and circuit level also we have. So these configuration we can made both the packet level and application level also. Then another one is that the intruder must generally penetrate two separate systems. So intruder, the new one is going to be enter into the system. He must penetrate with the separate systems. Then only he can able to get the configure with the firewall. This configuration is also offers the flexibility in providing the direct internet access. That is the public information service, example web servers. So web servers means we are going to be using by using a ODBC and JDBC connections. We are going to be access general database servers. No? So like that we can access freely by using these firewall configurations. We can screened firewall configuration through that we can get this flexibility also. We can easily access direct internet access. So screened host firewall system, the first one is about single homed Boston host. The second one is about dual homed Boston host. So there is we are going to be used see that diagram. You can understand that this is a Boston host system where we have a two ways we are going to be passed. The previous one we can see that how it will be. So we have only one connection, only one. There is no separation here. So direct connection we are going to be get and we are going to be get information sharing. But here in a dual tone, see that we have separate connection. Through that connection we are going to be get separated by the different systems. So the firewall is going to be secure the Boston host and later it's going to be secure. So now the Boston host is places a major role in order to provide the security to the all other systems in the network. So how we are going to? So we already know that the firewalls is not going to be in the network. It is going to be a part of a single system also. So if the system is there, so if I want to make a secure network in the wide area network or local area, any network, if I want to make, so how I need to provide a security for the server system, the main system or information sharing where we are going to be get. So how we are going to be get authenticated and we are going. So for example, we have a lot of servers are there, but where we are going to be get access these for example, everyone simply we can able to do Google session directly. It is coming from Google server only. No? So general we are doing like this. So how we are going to be? You can trust the Google data and we are going to be processing. That is a simple. So in a dual homed Boston host, a screened host firewalls, dual homed Boston configuration, the packet filter is not completely compromised. It is not completely compromised. Traffic between the internet and the other hosts in the private network has flow through the Boston host. So it get through the Boston host. It's going to be proper connection is going to be. So the previous one we can have a direct. So that's why we have a direct internet connection also is available in the previous one, a single home Boston host. So here we have directly the part it, conformingly confirm the data must the network must pass through the Boston host. So then only with the private networks, but other networks will follow. So for that we may have some a network in between happening, so that we will to follow. So the screened subnet firewall system. So another one is about screened subnet firewall system. So where we are going to be from. See here, the previous one we have making a firewall in between the internet and a Boston host and some private networks. Only one firewall. So here we are making some subnets. So whenever, wherever we need some separate host or separate network is going to be placed. So there we are going to be placed. For example, through the internet. So outside we may access from this router. So where we have one firewall is going to be. So then we have one Boston host, then some information security. So some inside router we are going to be making. So this router is going to be access some private networks. Through this router we may access some other systems into the network. That is the screened subnet firewall system. So the screened subnet firewall system, how we are going to be connected. The most secure configurations of the three, the packet filtering are used and creation of a isolated subnetwork. So two packet filtering networks are used for most configuration. And another one is about creating an isolated subnetwork also. Isolated subnetwork also we are going to be created for that. Okay. So then what is the advantage of creating these screened subnet configurations? So there is several advantages, some of them here mentioned. Three levels of defense to throughout intruders. Throughout intruders, we may avoid that. We can simply the third party persons who are entering without an proper identity, then we can avoid this. Then the outside routers advantage is only extensions of the screamed subnet to the internet. That is, an internal network is invisible to the internet. So you know the difference between a small internet and capital I internet. So that is, one is giving a network, another one is giving a services. This is simply you can call www services. So then another one is the inside router advantages only extends existence of the screened subnets to the internal networks. So the system on the inside network cannot be construct direct routers onto the internet. Direct routers onto the internet. So we cannot make it as a direct router. So we can simply go through the individual routers to make a major part of transferring, that is distributing the packets in between the system to say, that is a private networks, are in between the postal host to some information servers also, how the data is going to be. Then another concept that is about can simply how we can have how we can identify confirm that this system is a trusted system. So how we can access it? Can I access the data from any one system? So how I need to confirm that whether the particular system is a trusted system or not? So that type of, so generally we can make a trusted system when we are going to be called a system is a trusted means, then definitely it is a security. All the security measures are like that tried symbols, you know, that is availability, authentication, and integrity. All those things are available, such that the data is must authenticated by the someone. Then only that such type of data we can access. So one way to enhance the ability of a system to define against the intruders and the malicious programs to implement it in a trusted system technology. So these malicious things and some error corrections, all those things against, and we don't have any intruders should not enter in this malicious program should not. So that is we can call it viruses. We should not get into these systems. So that such that way the trusted systems have a technology to implement. Then another one is about data access control. Through the user access control procedure, there is a logon. The user can identify the system. User can be identified to the system. Identified to the system. So if I am going to be enter into some system. So I must authenticate it. How it will be? Maybe for example, I'm going to be log into my Gmail ID. I need to give my credential such that I am going to be identified by the system. System can identify me through that some logins. So which one we are going to be providing username and passwords or some OTPs or anything. So identifications, anything which we have given in the time of sign up. So such type of things we are going to be, again we are going to be prove that I am the person who is entering. So such that the system is going to be identified that the user is an exact user or not. Associated with each user, there can be a profile that specifies the permissible operations and file access. So, for example, if any a system or any something, we can take it as a system as a direct computer, or we can take a system as a, for example, nowadays we can talk all the things we have in online mode itself. So through the drive also we have access all the systems. So for example, so in the I think last week I shared one Excel file. For example, in the starting itself, somebody asked us that we are unable to edit the data in that. We are unable to enter the our SGPA into that. So please give me a permission to me. So when the user is creating the data or creating some system, he must have some various levels of these securities. So for example, uh, uh, first of all, we need to identify that what are the users are going to be involved in the system. What are the users are so for that only we are very much familiar with the UML diagram, where we are who are the actors are going to be involved on the system, and what are the in particular use case which actor is going to be act on that one. I remember this and that. So here we can have a touch of it. So what is, so which user have, for example, the actor system admin, he can access all the use cases. For example, we can take a student library system. I think most of them use complete that one in UML subject. So, for example, there we have a library admin, and we have a student and faculty. We have three, for example, three actors are there. So, what are the things we have for access control for student? What are the access control for faculty? What are the access control for a system admin? So admin can view all the data. So students can view only view the books, and he can see the, whether it is available or it is issued or not. So what is the date, and he can see the fine, how much fine he has. These things only can see. So the things which is going to be modified by the admin. So faculty can see the same credentials, or we have some more. For example, we can opt the book for more than 1 or 2 months like that. So we have some more credentials, some more accessibles are different from one to another. So one to another one in the sense, if you talk about the system, we can simply say that every user must have some premises to around the system. So where he can move and where he can access and which part he can access, that accesses will be different from one user to another. That is simple, right? We can. So the operations system can be enforce the rules based with the user profile. So the operation of system. So how this is, for example, you can have the various types of. For example, you can see the some websites we have some what we can call those. We need to get premium. So for example, we have a premium site. For example, we have Amazon Premium itself. So Amazon Premium. So Amazon Prime we have. So what is our Amazon Prime? So like that we have in some of the applications we have a Prime levels also. For example, if you pay, for example, even if we can take our Zoom, so now we can access 300 members. Is that only Zoom is providing for 300 members to contact? No, we have 500 and 1000 or n number of. So the based upon the cost which we are paying, so based upon that they are going to be provided service to. So we are not going to be access more than 300 members in one class. So such type of plans, we various plans we have. So example, we have mobile also. For example, we are going to be up to some 599. For example, 600 we are paying per Geo per day 2 GB or something. So for example, you are paying 149, 1 GB per 1 day and 24 days. So that is based upon your something rules, or we can say some plans according to mobile. We can talk about plans. So rules based, the user can have his profile based upon that he can given a data access control. So general models of access control: access matrix, access control list, and capability list. These are three types of controls are there. So if you can, if you see that matrix, access matrix, how it will be. So it is like a rows and columns. In column wise, we have program one, program two, and so on, and segment A, segment B we have, and the process one and process two in a row wise. So, for example, process one, he can read and execute the program, and with the segment A, he can read and write. So, process two, only segment B only he can read. So, the way of accessing, so way of providing details, that is the details now, in the sense we can simply call as how the process was initialized in the system. So how much he can do the modifications. So everything that is. So that is a simple meaning of access control, how we are going to do the access. Then another one about access matrix. Access matrix. So access matrix, basic elements of a model, subject, that is an entry, the capability of accessing the objects, the concept of subject equivalent that of process. The objects, anything which you are controlled, that is the files or programs or whatever it may be. Then access rights means the way of which whether we are going to be read and write or execute. So that matrix explanation how it will. So subject, object, and access rights. So for example, you can take files and programs, all those things we are going to be taking as a column files. No? The column we can call as objects, and the rows we can call as a subject, and access controls are in between we are filling whether it is read or write or execute what is. Then data access control. Access control list means what is that? Decompositions of the matrix by column wise. So column wise we are going to be matrix. So for example, what is the column? First column is about program. Program one, process one, he can read and write. So access control is. So we are going to be take one column as a separated into the list. List means we can have only row wise, like that. So list one by one. So there is a matrix. Here we have a list. But the another one is access control of segment A. So here we are going to be call as, for example, each column. For example, first column is a program one, second column is program two, and so on. Segment A, segment B. So, for example, if I want to write an access control list per program two, what I have to write? So nothing is there. So only segment B only we have a process to read. So process two where we can write, we can read. So I will show you the diagram. We can see that if I am going to be, this is the matrix information. By seeing that we have subjects here, process one, process two, and objects are here. And what are the controls, access controls are here. So if I am going to be mentioned these column as one list, so that is a program one, process one can read and write a program one, read and execute. Same process one can read and write the segment A. So this is one list, and this is one list, and this is another list. So now we can call process two can read the segment B. So that is the three different lists. So access control list for programmer, process one read and write, read and execute, and segment A. This is the column names and program one and program two. We are not doing anything, so that's only we are simple. And segment A, process one read and write, and segment B, process two only. Then access control. Access control list. An access control list lists users and their permitted access rights. So how much, for example, we can have what are the controls are there, read, write, execute, some of them. So what level he can do. So process one, what he can do. Whether he can modify, either he can write, either he can read, either he can execute. So such type of access rights were there. The list may contain the different by default or public entries also. So some of the default things. For example, Simply, for example, you can take a Zoom. So if you install and we can log into the Zoom, everyone get some 30 minutes of free. So that is the default sum of the entries we have. If you want to move more than that, then definitely we have want to go for premium. Sorry. Then another one is about capability list. Capability list. Capability list of process one. Now we are going to be mentioning the row wise. So the previous one is about column wise. Now we have a row wise. Row wise means row wise we have what are the things are there? Objects are there. Process one and process two. So process one, what it will do. So process one can program one read and execute, and segment A read and write. So that is a see that the decomposition of matrix by row wise, decomposition of reads by row wise is going to be a capability list. So process to what it can do only segment B, it can read only. So that is operation. Then capability ticket specifies the authorized objects. So I told objects in the process one process and operations for the users. So what are the operations we can perform the users? So he can write and execute on the programmer, and he can read and write the segment E. In a process two, he can read the only segment E. So that is so each user have a number of tickets. So each user we have a number of maybe two or more than operations we have can do. How many number of operations you can do. The concept of trusted system. Trusted system is protection of data and resources on basis of levels of security. For example, military. So how we are going to be protection of data and resources based upon the levels of security. The users can be guaranteed clearness to access a certain categories of the data. So what the data, how we are going to be accessed. So at what level we can access. For example, even we can say that the military officers are there. For example, you can have an example of military. So military we have various types of officers are there. So one officer we have one rights to. We can deep enter into the system. All the peoples cannot enter deep into the system. So some of the peoples can have a full rights based upon how he is going to be enter. For example, the major we have some of the categories. For example, simple name, army man. So what is the simple name and username and so what the criteria we are going to be. So what type of data he can. So at a major level, what type of data he can. So that is the categories of data we can. So the multiple multi-level security. Definition of multiple categories of levels of data. A multi-level security system must enforce no read-up. A subject can only read objects of a less equality security level, simply security properties. So there is a no write enables are there. Only read, no read-up. So only read can do that. No write done. So that is the object only write into an object and generate equal or security. So what the data we can modify, what the data we are not going to be modified, how the multi-level security we are going to be provide. So for example, some of the basic data, no one should not delete it. No one should not remove that. For example, if I want to enter all of your register number, so if you enter your register number, no one cannot change that register number. Yes or no? So by that we can identify that. Yes or no? For example, if I am asking to write you some of what is a trusted system, is that everyone is going to be write the same thing? Is that everyone is going to be read the same thing? So some of times we need to provide the security based upon the levels of authentication. So see that the reference of monitoring concept, multi-level security in the data processing. So we have subjects. So audit files, and we have some security kernel database. So that is the operating system level we are going to be talking about the database. So subject security enhance, security clearness, and object is a security class function. So what is the how we are going to be access? See that this is the subjects and this is the objects. So how we are going to be access the reference monitor, how we are going to be see. So how we are going to be audit the files. So multi-level security we are going to be provided in the basis of the data access. So that's why before talking these system, we talk about the data access, how we are going to be various levels of access the data. So this is see that the same diagram and now it is somewhat visible. So the reference monitor, what is going to be doing the reference monitor in the trusted system? So reference monitor is the controlling elements in the hardware and the operating system of the computer that regulates the access of subjects to objects on the basis of security parameters. On the basis of security parameters, which in between it is act as objects and subjects. In between, it is going to be provide some regulates. So the regulates means some rules and how to access, how to process everything. The monitor can access. The monitor has access a file security kernel database, that is from the database how it is going to be accessed. That is one. The monitor enforces the security rules, no read and that is a no read up and no write up. So that is who can read the data, who can write up the data. The properties of their reference monitor. So complete mediation. So in between, so subject to the objective material. So it is a full control about the mediation. So security rules are enforced for every access. Then another one is about isolation. The reference monitor and database are protected from unauthorized modification. So that is a verifiability. The reference monitors only a correctness must be provided mathematically. So some of the operations, mathematical operations is provided. How it is going to be verified. So maybe we use some message digest or MECR, MDC, whatever it may be, message authentication for our message digest, whatever it, any mathematical operations we can perform. By that we can verify that particular access. A system that can be provide such verifications refers as a trust systems. Once we have verification, verified, so the system is verified, then we can call such type of systems are called trust systems. So we don't have any problem. That is, we don't have any malicious programs. There is no running of malicious programs. There is no unauthorized persons are entered. So if everything is verification done properly, then we can refer such system as called a trust system. So this is a Trojan horse defense. This is a Trojan horse is one of the virus. It is to secure the trusted operating system are one way to secure agent of Trojan horse attack. So it is going to be attack on the operating system one way. So see how it is going to be. For example, we have as the same network concept, allies and dogs are going to be do the some data transfer. How it is the data file. The program is going to be right and is going to be sent to the Bob. And here the Bob is so here see that Bob is going to be give a data file. Bob can write the file. Now Alice is reading and writing and write to the Bob and is get back to the packet file and is going to be. So when it is going to be getting, this is the Trojan horse attack. So it is going to be attacked in the time of receiving the packets. Okay. So how we are going to be so if it is like that, then when attack it is happened, the Bob system directly communicate with this. The data files are going to be changed and some of the action files are going to be done directly by the Trojan horse system. We don't have any communication with them. We have the direct communication on the data. So we are not going to be allow the pockets to send. So the data files are sent and Alice is going to be sent back the packets through the Trojan horse only. So there is a Trojan horse attack. It is going to be done in the level of operating system level attack. So once we have the reference monitor, when the reference monitor came into picture, so he is going to be act as like a policeman. See here. So he is going to be get it, and he is not going to be get back. So he is going to be stop it. So the previous diagram, if you remember, the Trojan horse which we are sending the data, that is sent back to the packet, back packet of 5, and it is Alice read and write, and Bob is going to be write the data. So in between we are going to make some policeman, some he the man in the middle. We are going to be protect for them. So there is a man in the middle is going to be attack that one. Here the man in the middle is going to be protect the data. So, so that was about the how the firewalls are going to be configured, and the various. Another one is about trusted system. Through the trusted system, how we are going to be get back with the data access. So various levels of access. Matrix level, how we are going to be access. Control list, how we are going to be access. The list which we are going to be provide, and the row level or column level. So anything. So I'm going to be stop this.